the United Star. I've got Mayank and Aryan with me, two ardent Spurs fans from Spurs India, and we're going to talk about what a roller coaster of season Spurs have had, where Harry Kane is going next, and which manager is going to come into Spurs. Before I get into things, let me straight away go to Mayank because we were talking before, and he said that they sold Gareth Bale and brought six great players from that money. Mayank, would you be happy to sell Harry Kane and buy six great players from that money?
I don't know about buying player, but I think Harry Kane deserve much more. So he should be sold so that he can get few trophies.
Right.
Just on the soft corner, I have soft corner for Harry Kane that he need trophies.
Right.
But he's the best player that we have right now. But we have to sell him to get better players. That's what Chelsea did by selling Eden Hazard.
Aryan, do you agree with that? Do you need to sell Harry Kane, or is he the one that you can build a team around and win trophies?
If we were any other team, I would have said sell Harry Kane with the 120 million. Buy whoever you want. Buy Skriniar, buy Sabitzer, buy everyone to actually rebuild. But I think more than Harry Kane or the manager or anyone else, it's Steve Hitchen who's the problem. He's our director of football. Again, he bought six players, and as I was telling you all earlier, only Eric Lamela is remaining.
Right, right. So now let's sort of get into what the season has been like. And I'm actually going to start with Priyan and then come to y'all here because y'all started with a manager whom we know all too well. Priyan, Jose Mourinho at Tottenham Hotspur. Did you see it going down any other way?
Yeah, like you said it, Prasham, we saw how it ended with Mourinho. And after a point, the players didn't want to play for him. The style, you get the results sometimes, but when you're not getting the results and Mourinho sticks to his plan and that style of football, it's very frustrating to watch as a fan. It's very frustrating to see your team sit back and defend and then concede at the end. I remember that the Mourinho's first full season, where we had so many 1-1 draws, where we scored in the start of the game and then we sat back, and we conceded towards the end. And that was very frustrating. So honestly, I couldn't see it ending in any other way. I think Mourinho for the Premier League is, unless he sort of adapts his style, I don't think he can manage a Premier League team, or at least a top 6 Premier League team anymore. I think Roma is a perfect fit for him. Italian football is very defensive minded, and I think he could do very well over there. But I think he had to go.
Interesting. Aryan, let me ask you this. When Jose came in, Spurs fans were pretty happy that, this guy's a serial winner. Wherever he's gone, he's always won a trophy. What then happens when Jose comes into Tottenham Hotspur? Y'all are at top of the table at one point in the league. Y'all are looking like y'all are in a final. And then all of a sudden, he's gone overnight. I have two questions for you. Where did it all go wrong for Jose? And secondly, do you think that it was the wrong decision to sack him 5 days before a cup final?
So I think it all went wrong in the Liverpool away game, if I'm not wrong, in December. That was the top of the table clash. We lost it in the 91st minute, if I'm not wrong. Eric Dyer was essentially the reason we lost it. I can't remember who was making the run, but Eric Dyer just let him make the run. And there we go. Scored 91st minute. And that's been the story of our season since December. Our defense is not good enough. The games where Højbjerg doesn't play well, you need to remember that he's played every single minute of the Premier League and Europa League. Not every single minute of Europa League, but most of it. Right? Again, with the Dinamo Zagreb game, Højbjerg was suspended. He couldn't play. And look what happened. As Harry Kane also said in the interview with Gary Neville in the overlap, we just didn't have enough leaders. And I believe if the pandemic didn't take place, Levy would have more funds to invest in the squad with, and things would have been different. And coming to your second question about the cup final and Jose's sacking, it was stupid, but then again, you understand why, right? But then again, you don't, because we haven't won a single trophy in now 14 years. So like that was the one opportunity where we probably would have won, considering how badly City lost yesterday. If we played like Chelsea, just sitting in the back, scoring when we could, who knows?
Which Jose would have definitely done because there is
Exactly.
no other way of football he knows. And I think you said that you can understand why he was sacked. I, for one, cannot understand why he was sacked because when you're playing, like you said, the most important game you have in 14 years, and the only man, okay, now Tuchel has beaten Guardiola, but the only man I think that can beat Guardiola in an important game is Mourinho. He can make it about himself, he can do different things. So that's why I want to ask you, Mayank, were the expectations wrong when Mourinho came in? Was Levy or Spurs fans expecting a trophy in the first year itself straight away with a team that is not good enough? Davinson Sanchez and Eric Dyer playing as your two premier centre backs, for example. It's not good enough. Apart from Kane and Son, that team is not really good enough. So were the expectations wrong from the first place?
I have seen football for many years, but I know one thing that the two best managers right now, Pep Guardiola or Jose, they need money. They spend a lot. If you are appointing Jose as a manager, then you have to give him money to spend. And our chairman didn't give him enough money. That was the main issue with him. He lets the money talk. He buy talents and give it on the field. Let the talented people talk with their feet. He did that, but it went wrong when he didn't get enough fund. And same will happen in Roma for sure. So I think Mourinho decision was wrong for us totally. The day he was appointed, he will be sacked. I thought in future he will be sacked, but he completed one season. That was a big point.
That's actually interesting because when I saw the Mourinho signing, in my mind, I thought that it was the perfect sort of confluence because Spurs is an underdog team. Jose Mourinho likes being the underdog. And when he went to the top of the table, it almost seemed ideal because Jose Mourinho at the top of the table, we all know he's the best front runner there is. Sir Alex Ferguson, I won't say he feared him as a front runner, but he knew how important it was to start well when you're going up against Mourinho. And then suddenly it just collapsed. And that made me think that, well, Spurs is not as good a team as sort of it's being made out to be. But Priyan, let's from the outside perspective, I said what I had to. What would you say? Like, what are some of the positives that you could see from the Spurs season, for example? Obviously, Kane and Son are the two
Harry
standout
Kane.
ones.
Yeah, I mean, I think Harry Kane to do so fantastically well in that Spurs team, it just goes on to show what a phenomenal striker he is, what a phenomenal creator he is, what a phenomenal footballer. Uh, I think I would give a little credit to Mourinho here because he had said in the Amazon documentary that he can make him the best player in the world, and I think he's played a part in that because Harry Kane and Son, that partnership, it was lethal. When they were on top, it was lethal. Harry Kane dropping in, and he had a telepathic connection with Son. He knew where he was running in, and he could play that ball from before. But I think what the problem was that they relied too much on that. They relied too much on the brilliance of Harry Kane and Son every game to win them the games, and you cannot sustain that. Although Harry Kane did go on to become the top scorer, you cannot rely on two players to win you the game each time. And like I think Aryan said before, Harry Kane mentioned that there weren't enough leaders in the team. I think that's the problem with Spurs. You don't have characters who can say that I'm going to put in a performance and win you the game. And I think that's where they really failed.
Right, right. Mayank, would you say that Harry Kane is the best player in the league at the moment?
Yeah, he is. Undoubtedly, he is.
Right.
He single-handedly took us to the 7th place, I feel. Because
Right.
second half of the season for Sun was bad. And our defense is I feel, totally drastic defense we have.
I mean, I was just talking to Priyan before we started this video, and I was wondering if there was a defense of Aurier, Bailly, Davinson Sanchez, and Alex Telles. I think there'll be only vibes and no defending. I think it'd be a fantastic thing to. I think it'll be a great thing to watch. But Aryan, from an insider's perspective, what are the few things that you saw that Harry Kane was probably doing differently than he was doing last season, as opposed to what he did this season?
I think the simple fact was that he was the one actually taking charge of the team. He was acting like a captain. And I don't think in previous seasons he had the maturity to do that. Yes, he was converting a lot. Yes, he's gotten the golden boot twice also. But I think he finished on 17 assists. Kevin De Bruyne didn't get that much. So like it just shows that Harry Kane wants to win and he has the skills to win. Many people say that he disappears in big games, but I mean, you can't rely on one person, as you said, to carry us through the big games.
Yeah. No, so I agree with Mayank and Aryan, and Priyan knows my love for Harry Kane. I think he's the best player in the league. He's the best striker in the world right now. And I don't think there's any sort of, in my mind, there's no debate about it. I know Lewandowski gets a lot of goals, but he's a little bit of a goal hanger. And that position doesn't exist anymore in world football apart from where you have a one horse race in Germany. But Mayank, I want to ask you this. Where do you think Harry Kane should go next? And what is your take on that? What is the best move in your view for his career?
I heard that Pep Guardiola was saying that he won't buy any strikers this season. He don't have enough fund. Okay. So I feel the best move for them is Manchester United. For him is Manchester United or Chelsea. Chelsea doesn't have a good striker right now at this moment. Whereas I feel that Karim Benzema is getting elder. He's getting aged. So Real Madrid can be a destination for him, in my opinion. And it will be very good because one of our player went to Atletico Madrid as a right back. I don't remember his name.
Trippier.
Trippier. And he won a trophy there. He was also an Englishman. So Real Madrid can be a good destination for him.
Do you agree, Aryan? Do you think Kane will move out of the Premier League? Because the way I look at it, I feel that all he wants to do is break Shearer's record. And secondly, where do you think he's going to go? And where do you think he should go? Those might be two different answers.
So I disagree with Mayank in the sense I don't see him leaving. Okay, I'm gonna get that out of the way. He has 3 years left on his contract. He's worth 120 mil. If we
And
wait
here
for
I
1
was
year.
thinking none of y'all wanted him to stay at all. But go on, sorry.
See, I don't want him to stay. I want him to go out win trophies, but I don't see Lewis selling him because he can wait 1 year. Then he'll be worth 100 million, right? So instead of spending that 20 million to buy another striker who's not even 25% as good as Harry Kane, might as well just force him to stay here for a year, right? That's how Levy will be thinking. Now, when the question comes, where should he go? He's not going to Real Madrid. He has 3 little kids enjoying school. Don't see him leaving in England at all. And I don't want him to leave England. He deserves much better than going to Real Madrid and getting demolished by the fans like Gareth Bale had. Right? Now, the two realistic teams are Manchester United and Manchester City because Chelsea shit. Sorry. Anyway, so Manchester United, Manchester City, I don't see him working under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. No offense to you all, but he wants to go out and win trophies. And even though you all have a really good team, you all haven't won a trophy in 4 years. And why would he go to a team who hasn't won a trophy in 4 years, right? Even though they're on the brink of success. That's what's happened with Spurs as well over the past 6 years. So Manchester City is the only option that I see.
But what I don't understand is why none of y'all want him to stay. Or what I hear both of y'all saying is that, Levy might want. Do y'all really not want Harry Kane to be at Spurs next season?
Best case scenario, he stays. But then again, we want to see him go out and see. If we lost to Leicester City, after the Aston Villa game, the second last game of the season, I literally told all my friends, if Harry Kane leaves, I'm leaving with him. to whichever club he goes.
That's interesting because, like, even if we don't win another trophy for the next 6 years, I don't think I'm going to say I want to see Marcus Rashford leave to win it so he can win a trophy. I don't give a shit
Harry
about
Kane
that.
FC. Harry Kane FC.
No, nothing's changed if Harry Kane will be sold. Okay, the club is the bigger thing, not the players. It is just an aspect of the business that selling and buying players. They are just stock for the club.
But Mayank,
I
then the
think
question is
he-
this, right? Are you in the business of selling and buying players? Are you in the business of winning you trophies? And who wins you trophies? Is it
No, no.
Harry Kane
For
or the
me,
other
the bigger
five
thing-
players?
No. For me, the bigger thing is rebuilding. The Chelsea did the same thing by selling Eden Hazard. Now they have won the Champions Trophy. What's wrong in selling your best asset and buying good assets?
That's an
What's
interesting.
wrong
But
with
I think just to come in over here, I think Chelsea still had a very good core of players. I don't think Spurs has that. Spurs has Harry Kane and Son. So if you're not building a team around Harry Kane, you're building a team of 11 players, which is very difficult to do, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think Priyan, that's what I was just going to ask. In fact, you brought it up brilliantly here. If Kane leaves, you want to do a rebuild. Lloris is almost on the brink of the end of his career. He's probably best to move on from Lloris at this point. And it pains me even to say it, probably David De Gea is the keeper to sign, but it's probably time to move on from Lloris. So who do you build a team around then?
Yeah.
Is it Son?
Even Alderweireld.
Do you
even
think,
Alderweireld is-
Alderweireld, yeah. So do you think Son
old
is the
enough.
one to build the team around?
We won't. So, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. Most Spurs fans don't agree with this. We don't have. So, like, I'll tell you the leaders of our pitch, okay? We have Ndombele, who shows up in 75% of the game. We have Højbjerg, we have Son, we have Kane. Lloris from the back, but Lloris also mid-season for 2 months, 2 months he was gone.
Yeah.
Right? Now you can't build a team around 4 people. You need at least 7 people to rebuild, right? And if Kane doesn't leave, I think we have a better chance of rebuilding than if Kane leaves, because I really don't trust Steve Hitchen to rebuild.
Interesting. That's actually.
And
a very
also,
interesting
Chelsea are Chelsea are run by an owner who's hell-bent on getting success. His entire focus is on trophies, and he'll go to any extent. He'll put in how much ever money, and we saw that last season. He just chose out the top talents all over the world, and he got all of them. So I don't think Daniel Levy is the same person. He's not a Roman Abramovich.
Also, Priyan, it's not just Levy, right? It's the entire consortium. I don't even know that if half of them even know who Jose Mourinho was. But anyway, what I want to ask you, Priyan, what I was actually going to ask you before we went into this conversation, is that Aryan says that why would Harry Kane come to Manchester United? Now, I have an alternate thought here. Harry Kane is someone who seems like, very much ingrained into English football.
Yeah.
And a player like that, do you think he might choose a club like Manchester United for the, let's say, both are managers, a common manager's football heritage? Do you think he'd choose a club like Manchester United for that and be part of the process of rebuilding, which we are much closer to than Spurs is, and actually win something? Do you think that would appeal more to Harry Kane than going to a ready-made City team, which is definitely going to win something?
I understand what you're saying, and I really want to agree with it. I really think of Harry Kane as a very culturally English person who wants to go to a team with a lot of history. I think he would be inclined to do that too. But I think Harry Kane is 27, 28 now, and I don't think he wants to stick around for another rebuild. He wants to make sure that wherever he goes, he starts winning trophies from the get-go. And that it's more likely to do it under Pep at City than United.
Well,
And that's why,
Pep comes
although
up with
I
Champions
don't,
League final,
I don't, although I don't think City are going to shell out 120 million. That's not their type of a deal. They don't go out for these sort of, they'll go out for 70, 80, 90 million, but they won't go. I don't think City is going to pay 120 million. If I see him leaving, I see him coming to United, honestly, because United, they need a big signing. We have disgusting owners who are going to get a marquee signing in, and Harry Kane would be the perfect signing for that. And obviously, he is a fantastic player, so I wouldn't be upset about it at all. But Yeah, that's just it. I don't see City getting him because that's not their type of deal. But if I mean if I was Harry Kane, I would have personally gone to City because I would have got made sure of trophies from the get go.
See, if I was Harry Kane, I'd go to United because I don't want to be associated with an oil club. But Priyan, I think you make an interesting point. But I also believe that if you look at Bruno Fernandes, Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, Mason Greenwood, well, Harry Kane could be that missing piece of the puzzle that could actually help United win something. But that's for another debate. What I want to ask Mayank,
Yeah.
Aryan, you is that another big part of this rebuild that you all are talking about that might come in the next few seasons or whatever it is the manager who takes over. Now, you all had something very good with Pochettino. Who is the man you all believe who can actually take this Spurs team to the next level or actually even stabilize it? A lot of managers are making themselves available for the Spurs job, shockingly. Conte is gone. Nuno Espirito Santo is available. Allegri is probably yet available, but he's going to go to Juventus. So, what do you think, Mayank? Which manager do you think, or do you want to see at Spurs?
I want Poch back. Which Spurs fan doesn't want him back? He's the man who took us to the final. Why we want anyone else? With
But
the
do you see it
limited
happening?
amount of budget, yeah, I can. He loves Spurs. We love him. Denny love him. That's it. Not today, but tomorrow we will get him back. That's for sure.
Aryan, do you agree? Today, not tomorrow,
I
then who do you get today?
I completely agree with him, and I want to see Poch back right now. But there's a huge but in this. Poch needs to be smart this time. He needs to have it written by Levy that he's going to be the person making all the key decisions. We can't afford to leave all the power with the board anymore. I'll tell you one example why. So this summer we were aiming for Sabitzer, right, for 45 million, I think. Guess who we got? Joe Roden for 17 million. No disrespect to Roden, he's an amazing player, but he's not the person we needed, right? So now, Poch is a really good investor as well, right? He knows young players. He knows the entire Spurs system. There's no one better.
Also, I mean, Poch has progressed a lot. The last time he was in the league, he finished third in a two-horse race. This time he's finished second in a one-horse race. So there's definite progress. You see, he's gone from one level to another.
Yeah.
But jokes aside, as Spurs fans, do you all care more at this point about trophies or the style of play? Because Spurs is a club, if you go to sort of the extremes of North London where Spurs is, if you go there, a lot of people talk about the style of play and how Spurs plays, etc., etc. So is that more important, or do you all not care about it at this point? Aryan, then Mayank.
So I'm going to take the example of literally last season. While we were winning, no one had a problem with that. As soon as we started losing, everyone had a problem with that. So it all depends on the performance on pitch. But if we are going to lose, then people would rather see us lose and actually play than sitting back.
What do you think, Mayank? What about you?
Till the playing style doesn't matter to me. For me, the big thing is winning. So I have seen Pep playing tiki taka in Barcelona. I found it very, very boring until the goal is scored. Literally, there are 4 goals scored in a game, and it's like 1 minute it took the rebuild, the building, and the assist and the goal scored. That 4 minutes is awesome, totally awesome. But the rest is totally boring. So for me, the main thing is winning,
Priyan,
winning trophies, winning games.
no, absolutely. I mean, I think beyond a point, it does make sense, and that's why I mean, Jose Mourinho and Diego Simeone and Antonio Conte have a career, very successful ones at that. But Priyan, what do you think realistically is going to happen? Do you think Poch is coming back to the league, leaving PSG? I don't think he's going to get sacked, but do you think he's going to leave PSG to come back to Spurs?
You know, I have a weird feeling that this might happen. I have a feeling that Poch might come back to Spurs. Um, Firstly, he's finished second in, like you said, a one-person race. So he's not going to be really a fan favorite with the PSG fans. Also, what I feel is Poch's profile is more suited to Spurs than to handling a team consisting of superstars of Mbappe, Neymar. I think his style of managing is more suited to Spurs, and he would, I'm sure, love to come back to Spurs. From a PSG point of view, I think Zidane's in the market now, and he knows how to handle stars. He knows how to handle superstars. He knows how to get results with them. So, and it's
And he's
France.
French.
So yeah, exactly. I sort of do see that happening, but yeah, I mean, if I was Poch, I would definitely go back to Spurs. I think it suits him much better than PSG.
That's actually interesting because I mean, also one other thing would work for Poch is that Kane would be gone, so he has literally no stars to handle. But
Yeah.
I think the other thing that what I realistically think will happen is Poch is not going to leave PSG, at least not now. I think Nuno Espirito Santo is going to go to Spurs. I think that is what I think is going to happen. He's the kind of guy who actually could stabilize the squad, and he has that pragmatic style of football, but yet can be entertaining at times. And I think he might bring the perfect balance and might be the perfect manager for Spurs. Anyways, they aren't going to win much, so Nuno doesn't win anything anyway. So I think he might be the perfect guy.
And it's also sort of a not a very high profile manager like Mourinho, you know, so there won't be that much of a pressure for him to perform from the get-go. So it might work out.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, Aryan, go ahead.
the problem with Nuno is that Danny Levy is already on the wrong side of fans, right? And I think everyone knows this. He is going to sign a high-level manager no matter what. He needs the fans back on his side.
But
There are protests
Aryan,
happening literally every week.
But this is my question for you. Why is Nuno Espirito Santo not a good signing as a manager? He's proven himself at Wolves. He's got the managerial chops. He's a good coach. He's on the up. So why is he not a good signing?
The simple
And
fact
he's
is that
available.
there are better options in the market than Nuno. Obviously, last case such as Ten Hag. We can
Hag
actually.
is not in the market, no, though. He's just signed an
He
extension.
is.
He's just signed
All
an
rumors
extension.
point to him. Yeah.
No,
but extension means nothing. Ajax had a clause in his contract that they could trigger the extension. Ten Hag didn't have to. So that's just maybe a tactic to get more money for Ten Hag's departure.
Mm-hmm.
So Ten Hag's in the market, then you have Conte, then you have Poch. And Poch is leaving PSG. I have a strong feeling he's leaving PSG, either going to Real Madrid or coming to Spurs.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So let me wrap this up then. Final thoughts. What then were your expectations at the start of the season, and how badly have Spurs fallen short of them? Or did you think that this is how it was going to go? Mayank, you could go first.
I couldn't hear your question. Can you?
What were your expectations when the season began? And how short have Spurs fallen of that? Or did you think that this is what was going to happen anyway?
Every year we have high expectations because we have new manager like Jose Mourinho who have won trophies everywhere. So we lagged a lot this season. Next year we will be much contained with whatever position we get, but the priority is Champions League because we feel that we don't have enough fund to buy good players, buy what do you call first class players in every position. We are lacking. We can buy one or two. If we sell Harry Kane, then we can buy three. So we can be contained with Champions League position. What is the main objective right now? Winning the league is it's not cup of tea for us this season.
What about you, Aryan? Do you think Spurs underachieved this season?
Definitely underachieved. So at the start of the season, I thought getting fourth would be an amazing improvement because last season we finished sixth. But then again, we had injuries last season. So finishing.
Yeah, Rian, I'm going to circle to you. What do you think about Spurs? Because I, for one, thought that Spurs were definitely going to finish top four. I had big expectations from Jose because, well, I love Jose. But what do you think? Spurs underachieved?
Yeah, I'm sure. I do think they underachieved. I think, and the way they started off, they were very good. First half of the season, they were almost top of the table. But going into the next season, with Spurs at least, I don't think they have any chances of top four. Even if they get in 2 or 3 high-profile signings, this is no offense to Spurs. It's just because City are going to strengthen, Liverpool are going to strengthen, Chelsea are going to strengthen, and these 3 teams are already fantastic right now. If United have a decent, half decent summer window, I don't think Spurs really have a chance of top 4 at least next season. But they have to definitely look to progress from, I think, what, 8th they finished? They have 7th, I think.
When
7th or 8th. Yeah, they have to look to progress from there.
Also, they've
They
got
have to play the Conference League.
I was just
Yeah.
going to say, they've got the Conference League, so you never know what can happen there. But yeah, Aryan, underachieved this season, or okay, let me put another question to you. Underachieved, but had they won the League Cup, would you have been satisfied with the season?
Right. So I think we underachieved, but I think why everyone thinks we underachieved so much was because we were top of the league in December. If we weren't top of the league in December, then everyone would have thought that finishing 4th or 5th was going to be okay. Right. Now, again, if we would have finished 5th and won the League Cup, that would have been a successful season for me. Not as good as it could have been, but then again, Europa League is much better than Conference League, and there's no denial about it.
That's true. That's true. So, guys, you've heard it from Aryan, you've heard it from Mayank, what they think of Spurs this season. They may not have Harry Kane next season. They may not have Poch next season. They may have Levy, who does not want to spend. But on the bright side, they have a stadium that can convert into an American football stadium. So that's great. Thank you for joining us, Aryan. Thank you for joining us, Mayank, from Spurs India. You all have been fantastic. And subscribe to the United Star. We'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching.